Hi, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning into the second episode of the Rock Bottom podcast.
Absolutely. We're so happy if you're still here, if you're still on the train, you're still supporting, you're amazing. We love you. It's really recharged us to just keep going. It's given us more ideas, more energy. We will say it was really hard to get the first episode off the ground. We struggled a little bit, but we made it.
You know, for the first episode, we did have some audio issues.
Yes.
We went back, we were able to figure out the issues, and we made sure that it was definitely better for this episode.
We posted an apology on the Instagram. If you saw it, awesome. If you didn't, this is us letting you guys know and keeping you in the loop. We are very aware of the audio issue last week on YouTube. All the other podcasts were mastered. The audios sounded a little bit better on the audio podcast, but the YouTube one, audio was pretty crazy. We got some feedback about that. Thank you for those of us that have told us. We noticed before we posted it, but we did come to the conclusion that that was our best route.
Yeah, we were hard on ourselves. We wanted to make sure that we were here and ready to go, that we weren't going to let anybody down. We weren't going to let ourselves down for the most part.
We wanted to get the video out on July 1st, and there was a lot we can go into. We won't talk your ear off, but we just wanted to get that episode off the ground. We appreciate if you bared with us through that pretty terrible audio on the first YouTube episode, but we've got it fixed now. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you if you're still here. We hope it just continues to get better. That's kind of
Can we shed light on that? Because the constructive criticism I felt like was
good
and a huge help. It really opened us up to what we needed to fix, what we can make better, and it really recharged us and put us in the right direction for this podcast. And we are so ready to take this on.
Yeah, it's honestly like the feedback, even the constructive feedback has just recharged us to keep going. We're even as individuals, as a couple, as a channel is a big theme that we just constantly progress. We constantly want to grow. Every day we wake up and we want to just grow.
That was really beautifully said. And to segue, let's get right into it because we really want to start with our relevant topics and then dive into the mental health aspect of it afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's going to be the outline for this podcast.
That being said, I think we can dive right into our first relevant topic. Everybody knows it's the week of the 4th of July. This episode will be airing after the weekend, but we did make an Instagram post for everyone to stay safe. We hope everyone's staying safe today and this weekend and being smart.
Yes.
And we wanted to get right into some news we saw this morning.
So we saw an insane news article this morning while I was scrolling through the news.
Yeah, absolutely.
That literally said, this is the record high prices for a 4th of July cookout.
I think it said in the survey, like since the survey has existed, this is the record high like increase in prices and cost for the 4th of July weekend, being like it has gone up 30% in the last 5 years of the cost for 4th of July, and right along else with everything, groceries, and I feel like everything's gone up, but just to tack on, happy 4th of July.
Yeah. Happy 4th of July.
It's gone up 30% in the last 5 years.
That is insane.
2024 being the record highest since that survey has started.
Mm-hmm. And the last 4 years, we just seen an astronomical growth in percentages for inflation and for anything that has to do with groceries. And we're just seeing it on a full scale. Like I think it said in 2022, it was 17% higher. And then 2023, it came down a little bit.
Yeah.
2024 skyrocketed even more than 2022.
Yeah.
So how does it come down and then skyrocket past what it was in 2022?
All I know is I feel for anybody spending money this holiday, we're right there with you guys. It's just we breathe and it costs $50. Like, God.
No, it really does. And speaking of spending an astronomical amount of money, funny that I'm using that word, we can talk about the Boeing incident that's going on right now.
Gosh. Okay, so they're still in space?
Yes, they are.
We don't know if you guys have heard about this, but Boeing, the infamous plane company that is known for flights going down, for deaths, for injuries, for a door flying off, has now sent astronauts into space.
Backed by NASA.
Oh my gosh, don't even get me started on that part. We're not there yet. So one step at a time. That I can't even. Boeing has not only not been shut down from all the things that everyone knows is happening in the company, but they've also been somehow allowed to send astronauts into space. They went from making planes to making rocket ships now. Not only like, are they being allowed to do that? But NASA is funding it.
Funding them.
How, 50 million was it?
Probably no, it's $5 billion, I believe.
Oh, are you serious?
Yes, yeah, it was in the billions. And not only that, but they're putting their full confidence into a company that has gone downhill ever since then. I don't know why we do this a lot, where we pick companies, bail them out, just for them to keep putting out really garbage products.
Why haven't they been stopped? This is where my conspiracy, like, I want to like grab the tinfoil hat and like put it on, because what is happening? Why is NASA funding a company that's infamously known for their planes not working?
Yeah. Well, I can't speak for NASA, but I do know that even though they are up there still, they're still stuck in space. Boeing has released an article saying that they can come back at any time. They're not stuck in space.
They're just choosing to stay past the precedented date that we first put.
Yeah. The reason why they're still up there is to gather information as to why it's not really functioning the way. I think they said a couple thrusters were down. They said...
Didn't they say like the helium was leaking?
The helium was leaking, so they're up there to do research
and figure out what's wrong with the rocket, because if they come back to Earth, those things disappear or something.
Yes.
They like get destroyed or something like that.
When they come back to the atmosphere, the thrusters, they burn off and they dissipate.
So they won't be able to research what's wrong with the rocket. That's what this article was claiming.
Yeah.
All I know is Boeing, the infamous plane killer company, has sent 2 astronauts into space. It was supposed to be mid-June that they were supposed to come back to Earth. It's July and they're not coming back. Now they're saying they're choosing to not come back. The whole thing confuses the fuck out of me, because why are we allowing this to happen? Why is NASA funding it? I just don't get it. This is like what I meant, like the conspiracy part comes in, because like, why is this still being allowed? Why is NASA funding it? I just don't get it. Truly, why has Boeing not been shut down? Yeah. Several whistleblowers have died after speaking out.
Should we not be talking about this?
Like, you fucking kill me. I'm gonna fuck.
Oh my god. Well, if this was the last episode,
you know what happened.
You know what happened.
Boeing got us.
Boeing got us. Yeah, and another thing that was crazy that's been going on too is that Supreme Court ruling.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
Yeah, this just everything going on. Like, I feel like it's all like the same. Like the people in Boeing, the people in NASA, the people in the government. I feel like it's all the same people that we're talking about. Like, what the fuck is going on?
The interconnected system of our government.
And why is this all happening? Simultaneously, not to talk over you.
No, you didn't at all.
Simultaneously, there was... While these astronauts have been stuck in space, there was a Supreme Court ruling that now all presidents are just...
crimeless?
Omitted from crime?
Omitted from crime, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds like we're pushing towards this concept of... immunity. Dictatorship? Question mark?
Disclaimer. We are conspiring. This is our thoughts and our opinions. Don't come for my neck. My conspiracy is that I just feel like it's all one big party at this point. I don't even feel like there's a red and a blue anymore. Like, I feel like it's all heading the same direction, just in different ways.
Absolutely.
And I don't know what we're supposed to do. I feel like
the president that's sitting in there right now is definitely a puppet.
He literally
no if and
you can almost see the strings
absolutely
connected.
It's almost elderly abuse at this point,
dude. Yeah, like I saw somebody else talking about it. They were saying it's like elder abuse.
Yeah,
like it is.
It
straight
is
up. Like he's
watching him speak. It's honestly, I get secondhand embarrassment.
It's also honestly sad because it's like this poor old man.
I know this dude should probably be like at the pool.
Like retired.
Yeah, retired.
Dude, why are we still putting fucking 70-year-olds in office?
I don't know.
Can we lower the age expectancy, like, for who's supposed to be in office?
I think it's actually called presidential fossilization.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I just made it up. Just thought about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been here. I don't know what to believe anymore. Yeah. I feel like if it's not AI made, it's some politician lying about it, or it's, you know what I mean? It's insane out here. What are we supposed to believe? Like, I heard the other day that Disney is buying rights to the Bible.
What?
Yes, I heard that Disney and Google are buying rights to the Bible and like changing it. I don't know if that's true. Once again, I don't know what to
Yeah, we're
believe
just spitting
because
here.
like
We're just
I just
conspiracies.
see crazy stuff all the time, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, what? Like, what are we supposed to think at this
No,
point?
we
It's
don't.
insane.
I mean, just like you were saying the other day with Project 2025,
Yeah, like what's that
the
about? It's basically
conservatives are going to take over the entire government and
that's what I heard.
reinitialize a project called Project 2025.
Yeah, I heard it's like a 920-page document of just like
Who's reading all these pages?
of just like that's the point, right? So we won't read
Oh,
it
yeah, that's a good point.
because that's why it's so long and
Yep.
so wordy. Like I heard it's like they're basically trying to I watched like quite a few videos on it. I tried to find non-biased videos, but that's a little hard in this day and age. But I watched a few videos on it. I pulled up articles about it. I heard that it's basically the conservative Republican plan for infiltrating the government basically entirely, pretty much entirely of Republicans. They want like the whole government in every level to be all Republicans. And then they want to take those Republicans who are like-minded and train them. So not only do they want people who are like-minded throughout the entire government, but they want to also that Project 2025 takes those like-minded people and trains them how they want them to be trained to then, I don't know, change our governmental system.
It's interesting. It almost sounds like a Ayn Rand book. I don't know if you're familiar with her work, or 1984, George Orwell.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
So there's a lot of novels, like futuristic novels, that are based about this concept that we start with the ground up and we kind of produce the way we think that the society should be run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like all of the dystopian books and movies back in like 2010, 2012, I don't know when they came out, Hunger Games, what is it, Divergent, 1984, with that's the story with like Big Brother and stuff, right?
Yes.
No,
Yep.
okay.
The cameras.
Yeah, I feel like all of that is just slowly coming to life.
It is.
Like, I feel like I watch Mockingjay and I'm like, is this footage of America or
It
is this
almost
Mockingjay?
resembles it.
Like,
Or even the world. Like you were actually just saying that the other day as well, that the dressing of what was it, the Met Gala?
yeah.
The Met
People have
Gala,
a
yeah.
lot of videos about that.
Absolutely, that they almost look like the Hunger Game characters.
It looks
And
just like the Capitol.
absolutely. And when Hunger Games came out, we're like, no one would
We're like,
ever
that's
look
ridiculous.
like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, like they look so stupid.
Yeah. And now we look at them and then we're like, wait.
Now it's an expression of art.
Yeah.
And like, it's just crazy. We could talk down this rabbit hole for
Oh,
hours.
for sure. But like, I mean, just look at over in the other countries too. Like halfway across the world, they're battling for their lives.
Same planet.
Yeah, the poor children, the poor women, they're literally fighting for their lives while we get to,
What's like that quote? Like, let them eat bread.
yeah,
Or no, let them eat cake.
let them eat cake. Yes.
Yeah, it's like that's pretty much what's happening. We're telling, how do you say her name? Mary Antoinette.
Mary Antoinette. Yeah.
Hello, people are dying and starving. Let them eat cake.
Yeah, basically.
Like, that's pretty
yeah.
much what's happening.
We could really talk about conspiracies all
I could.
day long. This is what we do on a normal occasion anyway. So it's almost natural for us to just go down this rabbit hole. But let's get back into what this podcast really is about and the change that we can actually bring to society with this podcast, and
What
that's
we
mental
can
health.
do on a small scale and as individuals.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it. And I think the first topic we really want to talk about is the day-to-day life and what I've almost considered calling it the Matrix, because I love that movie. Big fan of.
That's another dystopian movie.
Yeah, it really is.
But no, yeah. Explain what you mean by the Matrix.
The Matrix. Okay, so when we talk about the Matrix, at least from my perspective, it's more going into the fact that we go to work, we come home, we get on TikTok, we get on Instagram, we go on our computer, we just kind of disassociate with society from the world because we've already dealt with it for 8 hours. And
Or we just like make dinner, we shower, we do the cycle.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We go to sleep, we wake up, we do it over again. We do that for 5 days straight, or a natural, what we call it, 40-hour work week. And so when we're doing all of that, we're kind of, and this is where the Matrix side comes into it. It's we kind of forget that we need to grow as individuals as well. We don't make time
We
to
don't have
grow.
the time.
We don't.
Society doesn't leave us the time.
No, it doesn't.
I
Or at
feel
least they
like,
want us to not think we don't have the
yeah,
time.
I feel like society's been constructed in such a way that we're meant to clock in, we're meant to do this cycle, and then, on the weekends or in our evenings, they're giving us, it's like we only work 40 hours and you've got more time in a week. They're like, oh, you have your weekends and you have your evenings. When in actuality, it takes that much time just to recoup from all the work we're putting in for Uncle Sam when we clock in. Like, to be honest, the only people we're helping when we're just doing that cycle and clocking in and doing it over and doing it over and doing it over is
The billionaires.
yeah,
Yeah.
the people we're
The
working
people
for.
that are high up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So when are you going to start working for yourself? Really is what
and
we're
that
trying to
yeah,
say.
and that's what we really want to dive into
Yeah.
with this podcast and this topic is really persevering and having that drive to really work on yourself.
Yeah. So I think we forget to build our own lives. Like, what something for me personally, when I broke this matrix cycle or that cycle of like that mundane experience where it's like over and over and over the same thing every single day, and you just get sick of it and you're tired and you're exhausted and you're done with life and everything feels the same every day. When that changed for me, and in my personal experience, when I feel like I broke out of that cycle is really when I honed in on my passion, what I cared about, and what I want my life to look like. And this doesn't just have to be for people that create things. It doesn't just have to be for artists or content creators, whatever it is. It's literally for anyone, whether you're a mom with 4 kids who stay at home, whether you're a young adult in college scrambling to figure out what you're going to do, whether you're, a teenager struggling in high school, like wherever you're at, I think everyone can apply this. The moment you begin to focus on what you want out of life, what you want your life to look like, that is when change happens. Instead of feeling like it's the same thing every day, you get up and you have something to look forward to because you just start going, you just start stepping, you just start building your life. And what I mean by that, I want to explain that a little more because I don't know if I'm fully explaining what I mean.
It's hard to really fully explain that because
Yeah.
it's so much. There's so much that
Yeah.
goes into that little concept that people don't realize.
And it's so big, it's so life-changing.
Yeah, absolutely, it is. When you really open your eyes to change and to wanting better for yourself, that's the only, like, you live, breathe, and go to sleep. Actually, sometimes not even go to sleep because you just want to keep grinding and you want to really put yourself in a position in your life where you're able to live your dream.
Yeah.
And that dream doesn't always have to be like a creator lifestyle. It can also just be on a small scale. If you are working in an industry, don't you want to be start working to get to the top, to be in the position that you actually want to be?
It doesn't even have to be just in your career. I literally just mean in your life. What changed for me personally was I think I watched this show or something on Netflix about like how to live your dream life or something like that. It was like a money oriented show, but I got something really valuable out of it. And that being this is seriously when I broke out of that matrix cycle. When I realized that I'm right here and this is what I want my life to look like. So something that was key is literally just imagine what you want out of life. Imagine right now, if your life looked exactly how you wanted it, if you had everything you wanted, if you looked how you wanted, if you were as healthy as you wanted, if you did everything, if your schedule was the way you wanted, what does your life look like in a picture perfect setting? What do you want your life to look like? What would you be happy in if your life was like this? Picture that entirely up here. No matter how far away that is, no matter if it feels like it's impossible to get there or if that'll never happen, picture your perfect life, what you want your life to look like, and just start stepping. And you might not end up getting what you envisioned, but sometimes that's okay. I posted something on the Rock Bottom story this week about maybe you didn't get what you wanted because you deserved more. So sometimes we have a plan for ourselves and we envision what we want out of life, and sometimes it takes a turn, and sometimes that's okay. But regardless, envision your picture perfect life and just start stepping.
Absolutely.
That was such a huge breakthrough for me and turn for me, and I know that sounds easier said than done, but no matter how far away it is, no matter how out of reach it feels, you just have to start stepping. No matter how small the step is, no matter how little of progress you're doing, once you start focusing on building your life to your picture perfect image and what you want out of your life, what you want your life to look like. I don't know how else to describe it other than saying build your life. Start building your life. Start doing the things you want to do. Take that class, start that sport, like whatever you want
One
to
foot
do.
in front of the other.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
just start going. Just start getting closer to whatever you want it to look like. And sometimes it seems silly, it feels cringy, it looks impossible, but I feel like when I got over being cringy, oh my God, everything changed.
It's so much closer than you actually envision.
Yeah, that's true too.
Absolutely.
Things feel so out of reach, but you just start moving and you're like, oh wow, okay.
And then it just starts coming to you. Because
Yes.
from my perspective, especially with this podcast, I did not think I really had a creator-sided mindset to myself. And just starting this, I got in my computer, I started researching how to edit, how to do all these little things. And then it just like, oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do that. Oh, I can do this. I can do that. I can do that. And then now I live, breathe, and I'm like, I'm ready to do the next thing. I'm ready to do the next thing. It's here. It's here. It's there. It's there. It's there.
And before you know it, you've got something down that you thought you could never do.
Absolutely.
And you produce something. I can't tell you how many times a week I create something or produce something, and I'm like, I didn't even think I could do that. Like, you just have to try. And this is something else. This perspective also shifted this a lot for me. You've got to remember that there is nobody on this earth that is more or less human than you are.
That's true.
We're all equal. Well, we're all humans. Everyone that is in some position that you aspire to be in or you're envious of, they were a human just like you. You know what I'm saying? They're still a human
that you're in as well.
Yeah, and they've also been where you're at, wondering what to do, wondering how to get there. Do you think they just like, unless, okay, I mean, there's situations where people are privileged, but unless, like they snapped their fingers and they had magic to just get where they wanted to do, they had to put in work. They had to look cringy. They had to look embarrassing. I hate to break it to y'all, I hate to burst your bubble, but you're going to have to embarrass yourself if you want to start getting where you want to get. You have to get over feeling cringy, feeling embarrassing, because it's going to feel like that. Anytime
Absolutely.
you start anything, it's like, remember when you were learning an instrument for the first time, or a sport for the first time, or a new language, or anything for the first time, you felt like an idiot at first.
Absolutely. And then me being here is just living proof that I've already overcome so much of myself.
Yeah.
And I never thought I would put myself in front of a camera to talk to people, to be here in this moment, to really put myself in the public eye, because the anxiety is endless. The thought and mindset of talking used to be really difficult for me and really scary. And I love it now.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, thank you.
You really have grown immensely. Like, I feel like every single day I'm about to cry.
Man, I'm gonna cry too.
I feel like every single day I see something from you that I'm like, whoa, that's huge. Like, a week ago, he couldn't do that. And like, once you start committing yourself, stop looking at me, I'm gonna cry. Once you start committing yourself to getting better, when you just have that one goal of just get better, just do better than I was yesterday, just be better than my yesterday self, just do more. And some days, it's gonna suck. Some days you're gonna hit a wall. Some days you're gonna, it's gonna feel like all of this is pointless. It's gonna feel like I've put a lot of work in and I'm getting nowhere.
Well, actually, I have a really good example of that, if you don't mind. Just from my perspective, just on a small scale, was going to the gym. That was huge for me.
That's a good example.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. You start the first 2 weeks, you're lifting, you're following your little workout routine. You see the results. You see the results right off the bat.
Or if you're like a big person, I know that they lose weight really fast.
Same concept. Yeah, same exact concept. Yeah. So you see the changes really fast. You're like, oh yeah, I love this. I want to do this every day. I want to do. Let's do it. I'm seeing the results right off the bat, and then you hit a wall, like you just said. Yeah, right there.
You hit a plateau.
Absolutely. Yeah, you plateau.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, you said it.
Okay,
Perfect.
sorry.
Yeah, so you plateau, and you've reached a spot where you really have to push through to start seeing more results. Like, you're not going to see them right off the bat. And I saw a video on that, and is basically saying the delayed gratification method.
Oh yeah.
And I think that really helped me really show and grow myself as an individual was delayed gratification, because I did live a lifestyle where I wanted to see results very fast. I wanted to take shortcuts for money. I wanted to dive into different aspects and things that produce results very fast. And when I saw that video on delayed gratification, I really took it into consideration that this is the best thing for me. And I love that about editing videos as well. Going to the gym, you're not going to see the results right off the bat. You're not going to make the perfect video. You're not going to grow that bicep as fast as you really think it is. But in 3 weeks, a month, a year, you're going to really see it develop. You're going to see the results. And you're going to be like, I'm really glad I put that work in.
Absolutely. I literally could cry right now just imagining like when that turnaround, that look over the shoulder, and you're like, holy shit, look how far I've come. Like I literally could, every time I talk about that, I almost cry, because it's like I'll look at a memory from a year ago and I'm like, I got this keyboard a year ago and now I know all this stuff about music theory. And like that alone brings me to tears, because I am what's the word, like,
I'm so proud of your music journey, by the way.
Thank you.
You've really grown in that area.
I am such a sucker for those moments where you get to like look back and see how far you've come. That's why like
we forget to do that a lot though.
Yeah, but I was gonna say that's why a key reason I love Taylor Swift, and hate, if you want to hate, I don't care, but like she is a prime example of, she's been putting in that fucking elbow grease for like 20 years and she has like made it. She gets to turn around and see her huge crowds at the Eras Tour and be like, wow, I've really put in all this work and I've got here. And of course we can get into the logistics, of course, you know, whatever, she had a leg up, she had money, whatever you want to say, but we can't deny the fact that she has put in some fucking elbow grease for 20 years. She's been working hard. She's a hard worker. And that's a big reason why I love her. And she's inspired me a lot. A lot of my like motivation like comes from her stuff she said.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely want to piggyback on that. I used to be a Taylor Swift hater myself. And I think as a nation, we really view jealousy in a really negative light, and it should be, but we need to turn that jealousy into aspiration or inspiration.
Absolutely. That was such a good way to say it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, because we don't realize how jealous we are sometimes.
Yeah, and I don't think you even realize that you're being jealous. You're just like, I hate that person because they're getting so much attention and so much fame. They don't deserve it. Who are you to say that it's undeserved, number one? And number two, just do it. Like, just do what they're doing. If you want to be like, think of your biggest role model and your biggest inspiration, start stepping towards what you want to be that you get from them. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you see someone in a light that you want to be in, you're like, oh, whatever they're doing, I want to do that. Start stepping. I promise you it's closer than you think. I promise you moves are closer than you think. The whole dream, the end goal might not be that close, but the tools to get there are so much closer than you think. And I used to think like, what do? I'm so far away from that. There's nothing I can do. Like, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't know even where to start. Just start. Like, even if you're starting in the wrong place and you realize later, oh, I should have done this, at least you started and you figured that out.
Yeah, because look at our first episode to now. Yeah. We started. We just wanted to get something out there. We just started. And, you know, we knew it wasn't going to be perfect going into it. We knew it wasn't going to be the most polished, professionally produced thing that we've done, but we are going to keep growing and we're going to keep showing that we can overcome adversity. We can overcome difficulties and problems with producing and the work that we're putting out. And we're just going to keep going from there.
Something I really want to touch on is the other side of this. I think we're making it all sound a bit too easy. I do want to touch on mental illness. Okay, not just mental health, but mental illness. I don't think people that aren't clinically diagnosed or don't actually have a mental illness understand this. Life is harder with a mental illness. I don't care what your opinion is on it. That's mine. Life is, in fact, harder with a mental illness. It doesn't matter how not lazy you are. It doesn't matter how driven or motivated you are or how creative or awesome or smart you are. Mental illness will impact you, and that's just a fact.
Well, our brain drives 99% of what we do as human beings.
And yeah, piggybacking off of that, I think a huge part of action and result starts with mindset. So of course your mental illness is going to affect that, but I really am a big advocate for like what you believe happens, almost manifestation. I also think putting, good actions in the world returns to you. So I think a big part of that is whether you believe in these type of things or not. It's just, put it in your own verbiage, whatever you want to call it. But good karma does come back around. You do need to put good out into the world and it will come back to you.
The universe.
Yeah,
It's
but
definitely very rewarding.
circling back, sorry, I don't. Sorry,
No,
did you want to say?
no, absolutely good.
Circling back, I do want to hit on mental illness because I know it's so common. There's so many people struggling with it. Depression is real. Anxiety is real. Personality disorders are real. Bipolar disorder is real. Whatever else I'm leaving out, they are valid and it will affect your journey. I just want to be upfront with you and tell you now, if you do have a diagnosis, if you struggle with mental illness, it will come up. It will come up in your journey and you might be slowed down by it. It doesn't mean it will stop you. I think it enriches the journey, and two, I think it will slow you down a bit, because I can admit, as someone with mental health issues, I think if I had never had a mental health issue in my life, I would be so much further along. I spent many days rotting in bed and thinking I couldn't do anything and being unmotivated, and sometimes it feels like pure laziness when it's really just depression or whatever you're struggling with. Some days I find it hard to shower. Some days I find it hard to pick up my toothbrush, and I'm just going to be honest about that, because that's just key pieces of being mentally ill, being depressed. It's hard to do everyday things that come so easy for a regular average person or a regular happy person or somebody that might not be struggling with a clinical illness. As someone with a mental illness, it's harder to do everyday things. It's harder to get out of bed. It takes effort to put on an outfit. It takes effort to get in the shower. It takes effort to do self-care, because we just don't care. You're just depressed. You're just like, it's not even, I don't even know how to explain it, but if you get it, you get it. And I just want to say that it might slow down your journey. It might affect your journey, but it doesn't mean you can't come out on top, and just keep going. No matter how little of progress you're making each day, just do something. And I kind of want to circle back to the Matrix thing. The reason that broke me out of the Matrix cycle of feeling like I'm doing the same thing every day is because once you start building your life, you're constantly going up. So like, you did this one day, you did this the next week, and I feel like that looks different day to day, you building your life, and that brings variety to your life. It brings growth. You get excited because you see things changing, you see things building.
Going back, discipline and perseverance is definitely really key, very key on our growth as humans, and my personal growth as well. I found it countless times where I've run into wall after wall, no after no, but I still got back up, dusted myself off, and really, really pushed through adversity.
And rejection, right? Like that rejection will put you down. You just gotta get up again. Like it kind of goes into the getting embarrassed, cringy thing.
Yes.
The getting embarrassed, feeling cringy, getting rejected. Those are just things you're gonna have to accept. Unfortunately, you just gotta be like, I don't care, and keep going.
Exactly. So, I saw a great podcast the other day where the woman was talking about rejection therapy. Yeah. I was telling you about that, and I thought that was a great concept, because we as human beings, we're so scared of being rejected. It's something ingrained in us at a young age that if you don't get the result you want, or you don't get the answer you want,
it'll like stop you in your tracks.
Yeah. It's a negative conditioning.
Yeah.
And yes. So, just this lady was saying, you could just go to like a store, go to order a coffee and say, okay, can I get a free coffee? And obviously they're going to say no. You're not going to get a free coffee. But she was saying, it's very surprising and eye-opening, the discounts or what you'll actually get when you actually speak up.
Like asking each other
and just ask. And I was just sitting there. I was like, that's insane. That literally makes absolute sense. Why don't we just ask for the things that we want out of life?
That's a huge thing. Like, people just don't ask for things. They don't ask for help. It's crazy what you actually will get when you just ask, and you just take down that wall of being afraid to ask for help or include people in things, or just ask for things. You do really get a lot. Or you get a little rejection therapy, and that's
Yeah.
good too.
And then, because most successful people, they get turned down time after time.
Oh, didn't the Canva lady get turned down like
50
loads of
to 60
times?
times. Yeah, something like
I
that.
think it was more than that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I could be wrong, but
yeah. No, I mean,
the lady who created Canva got turned down over and over and over again. And look how big Canva is now. Like,
So, I mean, if we just listen to every single no that we receive, we never know when the yes is right around the corner.
of course.
And that yes could be the moment we change our lives for the better. It's the yes that we have been clinging on to, and the yes that we really want to see in life.
And maybe, like I said, maybe, what was that quote I posted? Like, you deserve something better. Like, what was that? Like, maybe you didn't get what you wanted because you deserve something better.
Yes.
Like, that's huge, because sometimes it's not the right time. Maybe you're going for a job, or you're going for an opportunity, and it's just not the right time. Maybe the universe or God or whatever you believe in is like, hold on, like, and then you do get that yes after like 100 no's, and it's the perfect person that you needed to work with. It's the perfect job than any of those previous like opportunities would have been. If somebody would have said yes that did say no, it would have went worse. Whereas you are where you need to be. You know what I mean?
That's a beautiful way of saying it, is you are where you need to be.
It's just, not only do you need to persevere through the rejection, but the rejection might be happening for a reason. The universe might be lining you up with the right partner, the right job. Maybe you got those no's because there's one that's opening up soon, and that's really the one that you need. So yeah, not only, and also a lot of times, like, especially as an artist, I feel like when I've presented an idea to somebody and they shot it down, my immediate thought was, they don't get it. They don't see the vision. They don't get it. I know this is a good idea. I see this. I feel it, and I'm going to keep going. They don't get it. I'll move on. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Next person.
Yeah. Because the next person might see it.
Might get it.
They might be on that same wavelength.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you will meet someone that gets you. You will find your market. You're capable of finding it. There is a market for you and for your work and whatever you want to build your life as, and you might just be in the wrong group of people.
And that discipline to really not accept something that maybe I could work with this, and the discipline of saying, like, that's not good enough for me. I need 100%. I need you to be on that same level as me, that same wavelength. It's not so much that, like, you were saying that you present the idea and they're like, okay, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, but if you're not feeling that they don't get you, move on. Because, like, absolutely, they gotta get you. I don't know if I'm only speaking to artists right now, or maybe just...
anyway. I mean, you're the artistic side of, yeah, absolutely. But even a job offer, like, if you have two jobs, one was your dream one, and you have another job that you applied for that wasn't your dream one, but offers something a little bit better than the other one, you're more likely to go to the dream one, because you've honed in on that. You're like, this is the job I've always wanted. I want to be a part of this. And you will almost overlook the fact that the other job offer was granting you more benefits,
was better
for you,
because the other one was
exactly. So you're settling for what you thought was your dream when you have a better opportunity in front of you.
Stay open-minded.
Absolutely.
Be able to realize that things you once respected so much or looked forward to, or that was my dream for so long, and then you get into it and you're like, wait, this really isn't what I thought it was. And that's okay. Just, like, stay open-minded. Always be ready to, like, change course. That's also okay. It doesn't matter what age you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, just keep, my one initial rule, my only rule for life is just keep growing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, if there's one rule, it's that.
It's just growth.
Just keep growing.
Yeah.
Just keep progressing. Just keep building.
I love that. I love that a lot. And just wrapping this up, we really want to, again, show our appreciation to the viewers and to the feedback. Y'all have been a huge inspiration and a really big push for us to continue this podcast. Absolutely. The
support has really surprised me. I didn't think this was going to happen. I really thought everyone's going to hate on us. We're just going to have to keep our heads down and ignore it. Just keep going while they hate. And no, everyone's been really supportive.
And it almost brought us to tears, some of the stories we've heard and some of the feedback we've gotten. And it's the fuel that we want to see, the change we want to see, and the change we want to invoke.
We're ready to keep building this podcast the same way we're going to build our lives and keep growing, I guess.
We just want to say we love you guys. We hope you
Immensely.
had an amazing 4th of July and you stayed safe. And we're looking forward to seeing you next time.
More absolutely. Thank you for tuning in. You're awesome. We love you. Mwah.